Hey, Steve, what are you doing here?
We are getting ready for, I just got the motor back in the car, and so I'm getting everything prepped up for Sick Week 2025. And everything's looking great. So we just did a freshen up on this thing. Looked like $1 million. Everything's good there, so no problems. Just decided to go through it and just make it fresh for it. And since this is December 30th, isn't it?
31st.
Oh, it's the 31st?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Tomorrow is.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow is, yeah. So this is December 31st, but I'm actually doing this on the 30th. But you're watching this on the 31st. Thought, what a great thing. Nate's been working hard on doing a whole year in review. So, first off, I want to thank all you guys for watching. You guys watching and the channel is what helps pay for all this stuff. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. And make sure you leave a comment if there's things you want to see, things you like, the things we did throughout the year, all that kind of stuff. Just let me know. And enjoy. All right, so we made it to the racetrack. Alex Taylor is already coming over.
I'm about to draw.
Come here.
Aw,
See?
how cute. I'm about to add your face to the side of my car now. But it has been sitting in my driver's seat, and every time we open the trailer, I'm like, ah! And then it's just Steve.
It's a shock of, there's like a certain radiance that comes off. It's like, oh.
It's not. That wasn't.
It's a different kind of shock.
Weirdo.
All right, so you saw Alex come over. We just chit-chatted, so we just got here. Just, excuse me, just trying to get stuff unloaded. Trying to get everything all around and in race mode, and we'll go, hopefully, we'll go make a pass. So I got up there, and so it's first pass of the day, first pass for a few months now. So I totally forgot what I wanted to cut a really, really good light. So I just went up there and just was staging. I was making sure, you know, first time back out, you're making sure everything still works. And so it bumped and it's already all cool. And I seen light come out and let go. And I knew I wasn't making enough boost because I heard it not. It didn't come up on the 3-step. It only hit the 2-step. So I staged in just a tick early, so it didn't leave real hard. It only went at 112, and I think I must have lifted right before the 330 because it's a little slow right through there. there you go. I'm happy with that after all those years. Perfect burnout. That's why I was cheering. I go, "Woo." and then did everything right. So, all right. So there's your super slow pass.
That's good.
And now we'll just start leaving at a higher RPM. I'll look at all the data in it, and we'll start working on the tune-up. Good job, baby. Number 1. Well, I figured, I've always told Kyle he could drive the car. And now's as good a time as any. Even though because it's going to shake. It's going to shake on him just the same as it's going to shake on me. There's not much of anything different. So, and then I can watch the car and look at it and see what's going on, which I've never done before.
So really the only reason I didn't even make a full pass was because I looked down and it's spraying transmission fluid out of it. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, throw the parachute handle. And I go back over here, come to the end, I try to start it, and it's like it's locked up. The transmission is.
I see there's oil all over the place. Shoot.
I believe that is the transmission, because if I go to hit the starter, it's like trying really hard. So that makes me think something's locked up in the trans, because it was running fine.
Yeah.
It was running good.
Okay, so here's the biggest problem we got going on right now. Kyle just made that pass. We went down there and it rolled over slow. We thought it was the transmission. Yes, the transmission's hurt. That's not really a big deal, believe it or not. But it rolled over slow. It's got it back here, and we took. I looked underneath it. As we put it up in the air, I looked underneath, and there's the oil pump belt dangling. So I just ran back over to the data log, downloaded the data log, haven't even taken the hood off or anything yet, and go back and look at it, and it had no oil pressure from the time Kyle started it and drove up, did the burnout, and then made a pass on the car. That zero. The oil pump belt was off. It was just sitting there dangling. So we're gonna start tearing into this thing and seeing if the old RevX and Maxima oil and prayers and eating her vitamins and working out hard pays off. Here's the bearings. I thought we were good to go. I thought we were really good. It's like a miracle. And it is a miracle actually for how long this thing ran. Making, driving all the way back to the pits, driving up, doing a complete burnout. I mean, it's 7,500 RPM burnout, then making a full pass. I mean, it's a miracle. There's nothing really hurt. In fact, some of these bearings just didn't even look really all that bad. Until you got to the very last bearing, which was the thrust bearing, and it is spun and it has welded itself to the crankshaft. So we're gonna go try to figure out how to fix this one last time. I guess we'll find out later.
recording.
Camera guy.
With them?
Steve, yes.
With them? Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize, bro. We have to be protective over this.
So apparently, it blew a line off of the trans cooler line, blew apart, and so it oiled everything down. So I'm not sure what's going on there or why, but that's what happened. Trans line. So I went through all that engine work for one burnout, which is fine, and I heard it when it was spooling up. It was wrong. It was lazy and wrong. There was something going on, and then let go of the button and it shook, and then it goes boom. Oh, you got the camera inside. You can see this. And went boom, and all of a sudden it's just white. So I knew it was going on, but I could not see anything. I could feel the car going all over the place, and so I was hoping, just don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall. Bang. So I think we're gonna be done for a while. I think I'm gonna we'll focus on Sugar Mama here. So we're here today with Val Morris. She's racing the Sugar Mama. So tell us a little bit about your adventure into Sugar Mama racing.
You can't just put me on the spot like that and expect me to answer those kind of questions.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
He's allowed.
So are you excited?
Sure.
Sure. So we're testing different coil here. Go ahead, number 6. Yep. Okay. Just put a different coil on it, and all of a sudden it's good. So it just dropped the coil for who knows what reason. And maybe we've had a bad coil on this for a while, because it has been kicking her butt on just the slight tune-up stuff. And so maybe it's been a problem and just didn't even see it because it's so random. So we're gonna swap this coil out and we're ready to rock and roll, I think. And I would guess we're gonna be waiting another 3 to 4 hours to make another pass, and we just not practical for what to go at 890, which is what we really want to do. I think everything's all good, and we've not ever driven the car yet. So we're gonna go drive this car. We're just gonna go figure it out, and we're gonna hit it hard tomorrow.
You know what they say, man. They say that rubbing is racing, and we're doing a ton of rubbing.
This is
so.
interesting because back seat's is actually quite comfortable. I have my legs up here, but I couldn't get my legs back down. So we're here at KSR. Thanks, Kevin. For last year I was here trying to fix the transmission. It's really irritating. This year I'm here fixing a transmission, which is really irritating. But it is what it is. That is not the color of oil, transmission fluid. That is the color of metallic. But no chunks. It's just drove through the clutches. My wife is following the family tradition of being a transmission killer. Look at it. She looks all innocent over there, packing her parachute there, but she's a transmission killer too.
You can see it in her eyes.
You can see it in her eyes. It's like this little darkness that's there, and it's like must kill transmission. So, anyways, We're gonna go up and make a pass here in a little bit as soon as they call us. So everything's all pretty good. It ran right out of fuel pressure, but it thing's full of fuel, so.
Not the fuel. Oh, it did fall off. It's just
Something stupid, Ron. Alrighty, so we are here at Torque Storm Supercharges, i.e. accelerated tooling. And these guys are actually local to us, so buddies of mine, actually customers of mine too. And so we're gonna go in here, we're gonna storm the place and give you a tour so you can see what the Torque Storm Superchargers are all about.
The air's pulled into the inlet. It comes out of the impeller assembly, and as it comes off of this landing area, it changes the flow characteristics of the supercharger. Then it wraps around and eventually comes out the outlet, making boost.
Yep.
And Steve might have some more input on that too. But
You saw how much we found. We played around a lot with the landing area and found a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And the 84 cover, not this big one, but the regular, our new 84 cover, we've optimized it, and we're going to do it the same thing to these. We just haven't got to it yet.
Right. So there's another part that's in here, which is the plate side of this, which is on the right here.
This is the wrong.
So this is So there's all these clearances and stack up stuff. So air's getting sucked in here and gets compressed right into this small area. So there's the cover right there is, sorry, my hand's gonna get in the way, is making this, and then this is the other side of the plate. So it is all forcing it into this channel, which is what probably,
It's called a vane.
Vane. Yeah, this is the proper one. So you can see here, so all the air is getting forced into a vane that is probably 300, yeah, 300 thick or whatever. So you play around with these dimensions, everything in here, and the scroll shape, size, how far it shoots air out, what the angle is. There's a lot of stuff to sit there and just test and test and test. SML, not on the dyno just yet. Coming up really quick, like this one's going on today after we get done with this one. All right, now this SML is for Ben Williams, and this is going in a sand rail for Glamis. Really super cool. So keep in mind, on any of the SML engines, they are built and made. I did this entire platform to be a superior drag and drive engine. LS style that will plug and play in place of your LS. So these are standard LS headers. Standard spacing, standard width, 9240 deck height. This will plug into your head gasket popping, breaking LS engine. Can replace it with one of these. I know you guys are going to comment about the sparks. What are the sparks? What are the sparks, Kyle?
The engine braking.
Oh my gosh. Don't say it. Ooh.
No, it's not the engine braking at all. It's totally fine.
It's totally fine. It is the flywheel, the flex plate that we have on the dyno system is like very close. And when these engines start making some big horsepower like they are, the flex plate just comes over and just touches the pinion. No, not a big deal. It's just because the starter, actually it's because the starter's brand new on it. So that's why it's actually doing it, because it's got a brand new pinion that's not wore in.
Steve Morris Engines, I'm Steve. This is big block Ford power. This is the one we've been talking about for a little while. That we've just gotten finished up on the dyno, customers here, and we're finishing up some stuff and going to be testing air filter. Sorry, we can't show you the actual numbers, but we are showing you actual difference numbers, which is pretty goddamn fascinating. That the baseline is no filter base, 0, you know, from 5100 to 9000 RPM. And this is with the filter base. The thing picks up 9 horsepower on average and 2.7 foot-pounds of torque on average. That's like, wow, that's really good. And then the filter picks up 15 horsepower and 11.6 foot-pounds of torque on average. So like I said, I'm really still thinking about that whole thing. All right, everybody, race car tech from an engine builder. Now, check this out. This is new wheels, or these are new wheels for the wagon. If you remember, this thing has just recently been tire shaking. We did some tire testing and it tire shook. Now look at it here. You can see the rear tire. Look at it and look at the track where it's paddling the track. You can see how thin, and it grabs, ungrabs, grabs, ungrabs, grabs, ungrabs, and you can see it right on the track also. It's funny, it picks up the front tire after I let off the gas. It allows the tire to hook back up momentarily. Caused problems. Wasn't really the fault of, it's not the fault of the tire, it's just the way it is. We're testing, making new stuff, and then we're gonna have to test this. But let me show you the wheel first, because it is crazy cool. Bink, bink, bink. Look at that thing. Look at the width of this thing. So this is a 20-inch wide wheel. Let me take this right here. We'll take the cover off of it. Now, this is really phenomenal. Same size tire. Look at the difference. When you put this on a 20, this tire looks exactly like this one when it's on this wheel. This is what the wheel does to it. It makes it so significantly different. It's gonna be a new learning curve, but I'm pretty pumped up because I think this is absolutely the right way of doing it.
Oh man, I hope he's all right in there. He doesn't sound too good. You all right, Dad?
It's time to start cutting.
Oh man.
All right, got the panel off. I'm gonna deburr it. I'm gonna make this part, so we're gonna put the new quarter on it, and I'm gonna make this part right here, this whole section with the wheel well. So after we put this all back together, because this is really very minimally hurt, I'm gonna make this part detachable. So I can just access and just take the tire off right away.
Come in. What? In. Good. All right. Down.
Easy, killer.
All right. There's this really bad spot on the floor.
Alrighty, there is one of our facing mills, the black, in there on the drawer devices and our fixture plate. So this is the first ever turning on of a machine to start anything with a block. I have officially been given permission to hit the magic green button. All right, ready? Hey, buddy.
You are witnessing history right here in the making. This is a lot of stuff going on here to get to this whole point of just facing this block. I know there's a lot more. I know it's not all that exciting, but to me it is. Hey everybody, I thought you might find this interesting. Here is, the wheel is off. You can see the quarter panel. I still haven't got the quarter panel yet, but we're gonna make this total quarter panel removable. But this also has to be changed because I had a 5 on 4 3/4 pattern, and it needs to have a 5 on 5 pattern. Ironically enough, the stock bolt pattern of Wagons. Stick your finger right in here. I think right there is the axle and drive flange. So I just took the snap ring off of here per dog's approval, and you just got to give it a little bit of a tap, it looks like. That bad boy comes off of there, and look at that. So you have these big, that is a heck of a bearing. Put those bearings in these studs and the rotor on the new pieces right here. Right here. And then this is the correct bolt pattern. Alrighty. So I gotta figure out my good method for getting the wheels and tires on. I had it all figured out with the other setup with it deflated. Oh, hope I had this wheel on the right way. Because it wouldn't be turning. There we go. And yeah, I had the center on it, right? Step 1. Clears. Way more room here than what I thought there was, because this gets more room as it goes up. So the question will be is right here. I think we're okay. I think we're gonna have to lift the rear end. So this is kind of cool. That rear quarter off of there really changes your perspective of what's going on with the car. Isn't that kind of cool? Fascinating. Now, that's how it all fits up in the wheel well. So it goes up, but I'm gonna have tons of room up there. The tire does not, like I said, it can only go up 3 inches because it bottoms out the shock there. It's all clearing. Look at what the tire difference is from this perspective. I'm not sure if it comes up good. Tire. White and meaty. Skinny yet meaty. That is pretty darn cool. All right, I think we're all good. I think this thing's gonna fit. Gonna work. All right, where have we gotten to? KSR.
And we're not here changing transmission.
Well, we're here for transmission style work, but yeah. Or because of a transmission, one thing. In this. We've never been here without having a transmission. Something. All right, let's go inside.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Hi. My wife here, yeah, that's right. As we've gone through all things with Sugar Mama, the car, and I knew that this was going to happen because this is the way things roll. She goes, you know, I'd like to go a little bit faster. maybe a lot faster.
I think you said that. I said this car's a little slow. You said
You
you
said-
need to go faster.
If you say this car is slow, doesn't that mean that you want to go faster?
Yes, I agree. I agree with Steve.
Jeez. So, in our midst of all of our transmission issues, so we're sitting on the hoist, on that hoist right there. Yeah, that's a nice Nova. We're sitting on that hoist, and this car right here. What year is this one? Is it 2010?
2010.
It is a 2010 Camaro that Kevin has been building.
This was planned to get an SMX.
Yes.
So it's been built, I think, to very easily handle an SMX. It's a double frame rail 25-3 car.
Yep.
And it's got a lot of bars in it.
Tabs for hitch support.
Yes, yeah, I leave myself little notes when I remember things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that.
So my wife over here sees this car basically, and she's like, she likes modern cars. She's
I like the old ones too. I don't like
She-
the in-between ones.
the wagons. She's not a wagon fan. The rest of the family is, but whatever. But anyway, so sees this car. We're looking at it, and then it gets me thinking, and she's talking, and then it's like, I called Kevin up and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with that car?"
At that point, it was still not for sale.
It was not for sale.
Yep.
So I got a hold of Spencer. Spencer's the guy, the original owner of the car that started the build. He's kind of decided to change directions, and that's why I put it on pause. And we worked out a deal. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. That's pretty obvious. I worked out a deal that this is going to be one bad hombre drag, going to be set up for drag radial. Not going to put a big tire cart. Now, the one thing that I wanted to mention to say, so this is going to be like the family radial car. It's not just my wife's. Kyle's going to drive this car too.
Cool.
My daughter can drive if she wants, but she's going to be driving Cotton because that's a cool car. So yes, get to go here in the pits with Clay. Awesome. They're just getting ready to warm up, and when I'm not in the way, I'll go over and look at stuff. I think that's cool. Now you see that lever right down there by Clay's left hand? That's actually a fuel pump lever. He's going to grab it here real quick because he controls the fuel flow and pressure going to it while he's starting it like this.
Anything you know about a gasoline engine or an alcohol burning engine, for the most part, more so gasoline, anything you know about it, throw it out the window. It does not apply here.
Yeah.
This fuel is so weird, it burns so slow that it takes a butt ton of timing and load.
The perks of, well, whatever. Here, literally, there's all the crowd. Here is the track. Clay Milliken coming up here.
miles an hour.
Now here we've already got it faced on both sides, and Brock has already started cutting out the back bell housing portion. Hey, they're cutting 200 at a time, looks like. Just feel it hitting the windows with the chips. I'll blast all the paint off it. Now he has, Brock here, has run that drill bit. Look at that big bad bugger through, and it sounds terrible. All right. Wonder what that was. That thing bores a hole like Nobody's effing business.
There's a problem.
That there's a problem, son. That material's not supposed to be welded to the tool. Alrighty. And now you have the finish roughing piece. So this is going to heat treat. You can see the very thick, super thick material here. You can see the bores aren't all gone all the way through. Don't need to put a head bolt pattern in it. Don't need to do any of that kind of stuff, which is going to allow us to now send this off to heat treat. That is 530 pounds of chips. That is astronomical. Huh. That's amazing. Now you're up in the upper right hand corner, you can see me and Tom Hammonds, and sitting down right to my left is the camera guy, Nate. Now you obviously saw what happened right there. Thing blows up, everybody's like, what in the heck is going on? Nate immediately grabs his camera and comes over like a good doobie and starts shooting. Now everybody runs up there. Now let's slow this down and you'll see. Now look in the window. You'll see all the parts flying around inside, parts coming out the wall down at our feet. I'm standing there like a rock star, not even flinching. Tom Hammonds gets grazed on his face, and his athletic cat-like response system gets him turning away, and comes back in after he figures out that he was unharmed.
Whoa! It blew that blower up.
Yeah, it did. Holy
Holy cow.
You think the other
Change Camshaft.
Hey,
the same thing?
Look what happened here too.
Blow that up.
And blew it right off the back of the crankshaft.
Oh wow.
Oh, it broke the dyno.
Did it?
Yeah, look, blew it right off the pillow lock.
Goodness. Whoa.
It sheared all the bolts off it. Sheared all the bolts off the flywheel. Because it was made 11,700 RPM.
No, that's what he did. Yeah, just overspun the blower.
Overspun, blew the blower up because it overspun.
Overspun.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty. Alrighty, so we have the engine completely torn down. You saw pieces of material on top of the pistons there. Surprisingly, no destruction. Like it didn't bend valves. It didn't lose control of everything. There's nothing bent, nothing hit there. If there's any bent valves, it's only because the material got caught in it. So, but obviously we're not going to be able to use these rods because they're just questionable at that point in time. Sometimes life just gets harder. It's okay, because sometimes life gets easier. There. Ding. Now, FYI, it'll bolt in and it's all on, you know, it's really is floaty. I don't think it's going to have any problem, but I do have some more windows now, and so I don't think there's going to be any crackage problem. I don't think there's going to be anything like that. Yes, this does weigh more. It weighs 10 pounds more than the Lexan. Actually, it's 8. So 8 pounds more with the trim and everything. So 8 pounds more to have this with pink vent windows that latch, click, click, pink, for driving down the road. So that's going to be much, much nicer. So that's kind of cool. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. things off. Now that little black piece down in the bottom is actually the old stock spare tire well. So that right down at the bottom here, you'll see it again, that black shaped like a wheel. That's actually where the spare tire would ride in a stock car. So we'll clamp this thing on and start figuring out how this thing is going to attach. Alrighty, just got done going like 598, 257 mile an hour. Gotta get into street trim, so I gotta change the tires. So pretend the tire's on there. So we do this. Open up the door. Grab my Zeus tool. One Zeus here. Now, I don't have all the Zeuses in here just yet, but I'm just giving you the sample of what this is gonna do, because I got the wrong spring clips. But anyways, one. Then I would open up my hatch, come back here. Gonna take out the bottom row of Zeuses. Like I said, I don't have all of them in yet because I got the wrong darn spring clips. The ones on the side come in at the tail light. Everything's a little tight right now. This one up here. Sorry for all the shadows. I'm here videoing myself because the only time I got to work on this is in the middle of the night. We'll get this top one up here. Now I am going to have to put the camera down. I'm going to have more up here, all of them down here, around there. So I have one more here, one more here, one more there, just not there yet. So the fender doesn't just fall off. Let's go over here. Ta-da! Before we give this thing away to somebody, I wanted to make sure that this thing is top notch. So I wanted to put it back on the hub dyno. We made 845 horsepower at the hub before we went to sick week. My goal is, I think with tuning, and we did do a belt or a pulley change down there. I think I want to make, well, I know I want to make 1,000 horsepower. The goal is 1,000 horsepower at the hub. That is an awesome number for this car. It's going to get us into the 8s, so we're exactly where we want to be. Daily, drive it anywhere you want to, do anything you want to do with it. Hydraulic roller, big block Chevrolet. Holy cow. Fight you, fight you, fight you, fight you. Finally got there. So I think it was just working on the tune-up just a little bit. So let me see what the data logger says, because I did change that line because I thought, oh, maybe it's leaking a little bit there at the blow-off valves. So let's see if it picked up any boost. All right, and there we go. We're at let's see, it's 7,000 RPMs where we were at. No, it still is at 18 point. Well, it's up like half a pound of boost right there. And then I just revved it up farther up to 7,300 RPM and it makes 21 pounds of boost. So our AFR looks good, super safe. Timing super safe up there. Taking a bunch of timing out right there. Yep, okay. Yeah, so finally, 1,000 horsepower at the tire. You know, the thing's running like a dream. It's fine. It's like, oh, it's sweet, man. There's probably a little engine tick in it. And we'll figure that out. No big deal. We take off. Me and Kyle are going to go to lunch. We take off down the road. We get about 2 miles down the road, and Kyle goes, hey, it smells hot. I go, oh, yeah, it does. Look down at the temp gauge, and it's like pegged all the way. It's like, oh, crap, what the heck is going on? It is a 6-inch long crack that is pushed halfway out on both sides. And I go, oh, crud. I think we're going to build a lower budget, something more friendly, more normal, NA-LS swap is what we're planning on doing with this. And then we got No Kill Bill over here that is, well, this thing is just absolutely insanely sweet. And Kyle has decided that Kyle wants it. Hey, Kyle, come here. Kyle is, look at him as he's strolling over. Me hugging the camera. There he is right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. looks like, yep. Looks like a wagon guy already. He is.
There was no wheel spin there.
All right, here comes Jack Stan Jimmy driving the Sugar Mama. Didn't make second gear, didn't make the 2-3 gear change. God darn it.
The shift.
Dang.
It was 967 and 126. Sugar Mama, James lifted. 1080 at 92 miles.
Oh boy. Since it's not moving, wonder what's going on. Did you break Sugar Mama?
I was.
What is going on?
I was gapping that blue turd. I was on a PV run. Goes to shift in the third. Nothing's there. Shuts down. Get down to here. It's like, all right, nothing's leaking out the bottom. Let me check it. Got no gears. I'm like, that's weird. Felt the shifter. Felt light. And I was like, huh. Put the car in park. Go to get out, and she still rolls in park. So I was like, that's weird. So
that's not good.
Look underneath it. Roll the tire in my hand. Dry shaft and pinion's not moving. So then I wiggle your yoke, broke it.
For all you guys that don't know,
There's part. Now that I spun it by hand, but
it is not supposed to do that.
no, that's
Yeah, I think this is our ride. Let's see what these old boys look like. Probably rough.
tow truck with a flat tire.
Well. Looks like someone needs a tow.
The first block back from heat treat. So this is still rough.
Right. That's the only thing that's finished. Don't hit it with a fork. Huh? Don't touch it with a fork. You're going to scratch it.
Hey there, Steve Morris fans. We got the Malibu tank, aka Sugar Mama, out here because we broke it last week. Steve had to go back to Michigan because he has to build engines or something. Got Steve's tuning it. We didn't touch anything, so if it blows up, don't be calling me.
.32
150.
Perfect.
Dialed. I feel like she's so solid and dialed. There's probably no point in us, of all people, messing with it before the end of your giveaway.
Alrighty, now Clark got all the body work done as far as all the panels. So we're going to be putting this car together and taking it over to paint ASAP so Todd can get paint done super fast. But one of the things you just have to see, the entire reason we have detachable, removable rear quarters is that wheel and tire. Look at that. All that glory there. Holy cow. 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's as solid as it ever was. 6, 7. This will the window sill. The window, it clips under, or it goes underneath the window frame. So the window frame is all right here. So that's 7, 8, 9 on the inside here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Zeus fasteners total, holding this off, holding the quarter panel on.
I'm on the Dyno today with a special project for Jesse from Jesse's Performance. Jesse's in there buttoning some little stuff up right now before we run it. So really looking forward to seeing what this engine does. Be interesting to see.
Shoot the bolts off. Damn!
Spin it in there and go get that.
Oh yeah, look at that!
Oh, coming towards you.
Shared them. Shared them all. Yeah, all 3 of them.
Wow.
It was trying to party.
It was.
It was trying to party.
Alrighty. Calling the winner of Sugar Mama. Alrighty.
Hello.
Hey, is this Les?
It is.
Les, this is Steve Morris. How are you?
Steve, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So you are the winner of Sugar Mama.
Oh, well.
How old are you?
I'm 82.
82. That is awesome. Alrighty, congratulations to Clark because he set another record, but near catastrophe. Now watch the video go through here. All right, now what you're seeing right here, he's making a pass, it's going down through here, everything's looking great. What you can't see from the side all that's going on, but we're going to show you the in-car camera here next. Okay, right here shoots out, but the car is actually moving sideways. Now watch the in-car camera. All right, now you're on the in-car camera. Clark's going to make the gear change. Second gear. All right. Third gear. Got his hand up on the chute. Now, when you are going, we know that he coasted through with the parachutes at 263 on the clocks. That was with the parachutes out, coasting through, because if you turn the handle, or you turn the steering wheel 180, going 270 miles an hour, there's a big problem. So, really happy Clark's all right. Hey, we're back. It is Tuesday morning. So, you'll be seeing this on Thursday, I think. Yeah. So anyways, we're back. It's Thursday morning. You see Joe already went through, lashed it all up. Everything was all good.
Oh yeah.
Everything's like $1 million bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Did a retorque on cylinder heads. Everything's all good.
Nothing moved.
All right. Excellent. So nothing moved. That's always a good sign. And so anyways, now we're going to start the process of doing tuning on this NA. Because Camille is interested in what it's making NA. And I have to call him back. No, it actually wasn't even Camille. That's interesting. Usually it's always Camille calling me. So anyways, we're going to get this thing hammered out NA. And then we're putting on the big 140 millimeter Procharger. right, so that is still not happy. Now that sounded really rich. Alright, I want to do so. I mean, that's gotten better yet. Still lays over. Happy about that. Yeah. A little bit better. I think I'm just beating my head against the wall. It's just not got the right camshaft. Not got this. It's not got the right camshaft in order to make this work up here, and that's fine. But so it's making it's got broad, flat, and it just kind of falls off out here. It is what it is. We're gonna put boost on it. Woo! Awesome. All right, everybody, so here we are. That is interesting.
What you think?
It's full of awesomeness. Because a lot of people think this is wrap.
Yeah.
You cannot wrap something this nice. The wrap will not look that nice.
No, won't be slick.
It won't be slick, and I just don't think you can even. Every time I've ever seen wood grain wrap, and I have wood grain,
Pixelated.
yeah, it gets pixelated. It just isn't as nice. And then all the airbrushing and everything. So I mean, all the trim work, everything here is all just spot on the money. Oh, bumper stuff. Because this bumper was all. So Clark had this one pretty well.
He had the bumper
pretty good. Yeah.
The back one left some work to be desired when we.
Yeah.
But we got her good. So
Yep.
I finished. I put it back where it went, and then just did the body work on the fiberglass piece.
Yep.
And got it to flow. That side was like pretty good, but I don't think it had full with it. Plus it had a new quarter. But this,
this got tore off of the car.
And what I think he did was he just put it back on at like a different angle than the back one.
Must be.
But I got it straight. I cut it, and then I ended up putting bolts through there with the spacers.
Yep.
So if you look down it, it has a little gap so you can put that quarter in and out without hitting it.
Alrighty, just got back from grabbing the wagon. Kyle's been making a few pulls on this. So this is our base low boost setup with the Supercharger 140 F4X 144, and have a slower gear set in it right now. So this is just a lower boost setup, and Kyle's already been making some pulls on it. So this will, like I said, I just got here looking at the tune-up a little bit, and we're gonna make a pull on it right here, see what it makes. Now this is a low boost. It doesn't make 25 pounds of boost right here, but we're gonna run this just exactly where it's at and see. It looks good from what Kyle's been already working on. Alrighty. Darn it. Hold on 1 second. I had to put on the correct t-shirt. Because boost fixes everything. Alright. So as you can see, And we picked up our RPM, so I made it pulling back right about that spot right there anyways. So this is NA. Okay. This is the blue line. I'm sorry, blue line to blue line. So this light blue line right here was horsepower previously. Flat, broad. This is what it is now with ProCharge boost into it. It does start laying over up here, which is, it is similar to what it was doing here. We're gonna have to do some changes. I think it is gonna make more horsepower. I mean that's 2,200 horsepower at 6,300 RPM at 25 pounds of boost. So it's not really out of line for. It's all pretty close, but that whole little layover thing there, I think that it should be better. So I think we're gonna have to hunt after a different camshaft for this thing. I might very possibly have undercammed it. So yeah. Oh, it's lighting up both of them. That's on the wrong thing.
That's blinking, that's blinking.
All forward.
Park lights, my bad. Aha. Park lights.
Park lights.
Headlights.
Headlights.
Bogey.
Yep.
Ivy.
Yep. Okay. Stop playing.
Alright. Wow, why are they so loud? Ah, crap. I can't put it on the hub dyno because check it out. The fender's in the way. Watch and learn. After I find my tool. Alright, so open up the rear gate and we're going to open up the rear doors. Now rear doors on this are obviously not functional because there's a super cool driver's seat right there and the wheel well. This is the stock wheel well. Alright, so we got that. One. I need to figure out a good place to put all these things.
Get a little bag or a net.
Oh yeah, a little something right there would be nice, yeah. Alright. Then we come in here. What? Ooh. Here's a little box actually, okay. Alright. That is everybody. All those tens of thousands of dollars worth of CNC tools comes in handy. Containers.
It's the only reason you bought them, right?
That's the only reason I got them.
Yeah. Are you putting them in there? Is that what are you putting?
Yeah. Now oh my gosh. It is too freaking easy. But I do have something that is delicate. I don't have anything to put these on yet. I want to put them on, build something on the trailer so I can Zeus them to the trailer is what I'm thinking. But we'll get there. All right, so that was nice, easy, safe pass or safe pull there. Just wanted to verify everything's working. Everything's working. Although it looks like I have a turbo seal out or something because it smoked like a freight train at the on D-cell. So everything's fine. Long smoke, and so and the pipe is still actually dry. So maybe look at that. That was did I just say it made 2262? 2262. That was 25 pounds of boost. You can see here on the data log. So pretty nice, safe pull. Everything looks correct. EGTs are good. I think everything looks real nice through that whole area. Don't ever. Okay, now for clarification, that is what a auto deploy parachute actually does. When you hit the trans brake and you let go of the trans brake, 5.5 seconds later, it deploys the parachute. I am on an emergency road trip. Let's see if you can take a look. I just grabbed some clothes. I'm driving Old Pearl all the way to Motion Raceworks because Garrett broke a lifter. They're making a pass at on 7 cylinders, and they're going to drive mullet to Motion Raceworks on 7 cylinders, and I'm going to meet them there and try to help them get this lifter changed, which is stuck in the lifter bore. Possibly even put a new. So I'll put a whole new set of lifters in it and probably possibly put a camshaft in it. I hope not. That's a real mother trucker. So we are cracking right along. Well, I am here. I have showed up. Let's see where everybody's at. Hot diggity dang dong. All right. We're almost all the way apart. Party on. Oh.
That's it?
Okay.
You don't go too far.
Let go.
Just
All
like
right.
that.
Perfect.
Just like that.
Oh, there you go. We'll just leave that paper in there.
Sweet.
Perfect. All right.
That's crazy. That just twists in there, the bushing. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's not supposed to twist.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
But that's why we can't get it out.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what's happening.
It's actually the bushing that moves.
Oh.
So it actually probably technically hasn't blowed up the wheel.
And then when it tries to get pulled up, it's just jamming
rotated
it up.
wrong like this one is right here.
Oh.
And you ain't pulling that through ever.
Yeah.
All right, well, we had everything all laid out. Ready to put the top end back together. Everything looked like $1 million. We're gonna put the camshaft in. Decided to check the oil pan bearings. Yeah, the oil pan looks pretty darn good actually. And this thing has a broken main cap. Right there. All the way across. And so when it broke, it loosened everything up here, and actually the 2 nuts were literally in the oil pan. So that is not fixable. That has been main cap on here for since 2020.
Wow.
Actually, yeah. Is when I 2020. Let's see, 2022 is when I first went to sick week with this engine.
She's had a good life.
Yeah, so not exactly sure what's going on there. If it's a material problem, if it's just a horsepower problem, what it is, but she is dead. We're not gonna be able to fix that.
Mother trucker! Mother effer! Pisses me off. Damn it! Damn it! All right, so just give you a recap of everything that happened, of why I put the car into the end of the track, into the sand, which is actually Piston over there at the US 131. So I'm making the pass, last round of qualifying, I'm the fastest guy there, and just not even making full passes yet. I pulled the parachutes really early, before the 1,000-foot mark. I had to put the chutes fully deployed. You'll see that in the data log and in the video. And I hit the brake, and there was absolutely nothing there. I would like to hear everybody's comments. I think I got it figured out. I don't think that it's possible to boil the fluid out of it, but I do think it's possible to boil something out of it, because I had brakes on the way back. I was stopping the tow vehicle that was towing me back to the pits with the brakes on the car, but there was no brakes on the car going down the track. Zero. So I put it in the sand. I'm like super upset, like, because I'm mad because I think it's going to destroy the entire car and all the paint they just put on the car. So I'm really upset, or mildly upset, as Nate said. And so I'm out of the car, you know, and people are running around. They're finally coming down there the track. Oh my gosh, you okay? I'm fine. I'm looking at my car, and I'm starting to feel better already, because at least the front end's still on the car. And and then people are all coming up to me all concerned and all this other stuff. And here comes my wife. She's got this look of concern on her face, and she's waving her hand at me, and she goes, "Hey, you can't park your car here." One of the multiple reasons why I love my wife. So apparently she could tell by the look on my face I wasn't extremely upset at that point in time. So God bless her heart. It's one of the multiple reasons why I love her. Somebody could come in and say that. And so we're gonna call each other out. So we'll start out with me, because I'm gonna call out that nitrous blue turd of Dave Schroeder's.
Hey, I gotta turn the nitrous on this time.
Oh, that's right. I got my second turbo hooked up this time. So
okay.
Well, there you go. Beat that nitrous turd.
And 436.
Well, it should have went faster than that. Let's find out what the heck is going on. So the still surge is just terrible. We got to figure this surge out. This thing surges from 15 pounds down to 9 pounds. So it's 5 pound surge. I really thought that revving it up was going to be better for it. God darn it. Alrighty, now you might notice that there is missing turbo here. Why would that be? Let me show you why. One thing that we're doing here, besides the dog all passed out, is talking, since Bullseye gave me such a good help on repairing my turbo and, you know, emergency, and just they're turbos, they're, you know, they're Hart's turbos. But this turbo right here, that's my 110 millimeter. Have two of them on the car. Okay, nothing on the scale, everything's there. 52 pounds. Let's set up the tear. 0. All right. Now let's put on this Bullseye
104. Now it is also a one. They also do this in a 110, so same size compressor wheel, but has some different options on the exhaust. And we'll be talking about that here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you one of the primary things of the weight. Okay, so 52. You can see there, negative 52. Let's see what this weighs. This weighs. There you go. On there. 18 pounds less. That is an 18-pound lighter turbo. That is pretty crazy. We are mounting these up because one of the issues I have with this particular turbo is surge. And if you've been watching any of our videos, you've seen that I've been talking about surging on the two-step at certain RPMs and boost levels, which the car works the best at. So it's hard to just say, oh, just put it in a spot where it doesn't have any of the surge. Well, that's a totally different RPM, and that's just, it's not practical to leave that high in the car. So I really wanted to work on these, and 18 pounds lighter a piece. That's 36 pounds lighter in the car, period. So I'm gonna make these things work, and we're gonna be testing these things. Absolutely hate those freaking tubes. When they put them on temporarily, they do something exactly like that. You notice, super tough window, but it didn't hit the window. And it's all steel down there now after a mass blower explosion, but that kind of crap happens. What you were seeing coming out of here was cold air condensation water. That is water coming out of the pipe, all right? Cold air moisture. Crazy to actually see it wide open throttle. When have you ever seen a tube blow off of anything in a car, anywhere, and see the water, just the condensation coming out of the blower through the intercooler? If it's coming out of the air, or the hot air here, is nothing. Goes through the intercooler, through the system, has ice water in here, condensates, pulls water out of the air, condenses it, whatever scientific terminology is for it. I'm sure somebody will correct me. All right, something different for everybody. We are at Silverback Sand Dragway for two people. Gary Golembisky over there, our buddy that's always working at the shop, and Todd with the wine time. Yeah, that's right, we're here. I'm here. With the old SMX powered fastest four-wheel drive in the country, period. All right. 321, we went to 317. Sorry. There you go, 317. 321. Sorry. Pro line guy's a little slow. What did we do here? What the heck is that?
We had a piece of pork charger go outside of there.
Oh.
So my fin blew out. Window that
blew an impeller up and we didn't get a new cover for it?
well, sometime.
Oh my gosh. All right. guys, that was a pretty good pass. I pedaled it too. So it spun, it was shaking out of the groove and still went 426, which is close to a PB at pedaling it. That's pretty good. So happy with that. You just point in there. Don't even want to talk about it, you just talk about it. All right.
Well, we got a broken blade.
By a little over 1 second.
And all of a sudden it's like, and it stopped. And I go, what the heck? And I click, 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 click. And what the heck? I said, no. I knew what was going on. It's that stupid screw. Probably came loose. It's embedded in something, came loose, and it's flailing around, or it's doing something in there. Because obviously the screw is in there. Here is the new camshaft. I had everybody guess, or anybody that wanted to guess, what size the new camshaft was going to be. Okay? It is 293 on the intake at 50, 987 lift, 310 at 50 on the exhaust, 998 lift on a 123 degree lobe separation. Now, the very first camshaft that we had in there was something we were just trying to do, and I was just flat out wrong. So it was significantly smaller. You can see right down here, I put it into what the specs were. And so this is a lot larger. So let's run this thing, see what it does. We're just gonna make everything's the same tune-up, everything's the exactly same, so just a different camshaft. All right? Alrighty, first base hit. Let's take a look at the numbers. Our current number 4 camshaft. Alright, and let's go all the way back to the number 1 camshaft, which was the one that had the wrong bank angles ground on it. Now that is interesting because that one did. Now that was a really small camshaft, but it had, one whole bank was 6 degrees off of the other side. All the way down here at 4,000 RPM, we were 1,092 versus 1,026. But then it crosses over, picks up, and does exactly what you think. So the red line is torque on the new camshaft. We're going to figure out all this deal. And then the blue line is horsepower difference between number 1 camshaft and number 4 camshaft. Up here at peak, we're at 1203 versus 1,000, so that's 200 horsepower difference. Alrighty, well, you see it in here, the SML, back in for Cowboy Up Nova and Jason Sack. So this has been in the long process of getting built and going. Gosh, it's been over a year, I bet you. Yeah, been over a year since we delivered, or since he was here and we dynoed the engine. So that's just getting it all back up and going. So
Hey, do me a favor. Take the radiator cap off on camera.
It might spit a little. It was full before.
That's called zero pressure. You know why? Because it's impossible on an SML to pressurize the coolant system. Impossible. Cannot possibly happen. All right, so I think we're gonna go make a pass first, just so I can get stuff done and out of the way, and then focus on Sack and Tom. So both of them are not ready to make a pass right now. So I mean, Sack's probably an hour away. All things said and done, probably both of them are probably about an hour away. So I'm gonna get all my clothes on and go up there and make a hit. That was pretty good. Felt like a good pass.
Yeah.
Was it a good pass?
Pretty good pass.
Oh. Oh, you mother trucker.
Skipped ahead of you.
Huh?
Skipped ahead of you.
Oh, buddy. 4/16. 4 freaking 16. Alrighty, first hit for Jason. So it's been a couple years now since Jason's made a hit. So we'll get his nerves all calmed down and see if we can get him to go out there and make a hit. And then
Man, we let her eat all the way through on that one.
That was so close.
Missed it by
Missed
that
it
much.
by
701.
688.
We're in the sixes, baby. 205. 205. Ah, sweaty hug, sweaty hug. I knew it was eating there. It felt good all the way out. All we need now is to put some more power in it.
Yeah, we can do that. This little spark plug in the hole right here. This tells all. That spark plug tells you every single thing you need to know. I'm going to give you some baseline numbers. It is up to you to understand how to read a spark plug. It's up to you to understand how to read your data logs. It's up to you to understand how your engine's running to determine what your peak timing numbers are for real. If your no engine in the world makes more horsepower when it detonates, it is physically impossible. It cannot make more horsepower detonating. It does not work that way, because the whole point is it's not making a nice clean burn all the way across the combustion chamber. It's making some kind of bull crap, little bit of burn here and then some missed time burn over there. Just by the sheer nature and physics of it, it cannot make more down pressure. It's physically impossible. So you cannot make more horsepower with the engine detonating. You can make more horsepower all the way up to the point of detonation, up to that threshold, but you can't make more horsepower doing it. Now, at first glance, you might say, oh, that's not too bad. But if you remember, here is our magic problem. That great big crack. Now, this block has been in service. This is one of the very first series blocks. So this block actually was made in 2019. Not made by me. The very first ones were actually made by Dart. So Dart made this block per my instructions in CAD and engineering. And caps, they made everything. Okay? And it's been in service for 5+ years. Actually, that's long. Yeah, 5 years, 5+ years. And serious abuse from me, serious abuse obviously from Garrett, and so let's start taking this thing apart. We'll get the pistons and rods of it and look at all the pistons, rods, all that good stuff, and see what things are really looking like. Now, interesting note, this also has, this one's actually kind of neat. If you remember looking at my engine on the last video, and we talked about the piston coating, well, this set of pistons clearanced up differently, which is really interesting. So you can see it really pretty much took almost all of the coating off, and you know, so much so you could even see the but no scratches, no anything. Everything looks really all darn nice right through here. Alrighty, now if we look down, and you have to go back into that video, and let me put that little clip section in there on the video that we did at 6 Summer when we took the lifters out of it, and I tried to explain this just a little bit. All right, now if you look here on that lifter right there and that lifter right there, those two look okay, look fine. Those two, this one is bad. Oops, sorry, that lifter board right there is bad. You see that little spot there, little spot there, little spot there? That one's okay, that one's okay. That one obviously is the real bad one. Super bad. Now, I don't know why, but, and I'm definitely not blaming Cletus on this or his guys, or I don't know why it is doing it, but I only have that problem on 2 other, or just Cletus and Ned Dunphy actually. But one of the things that is happening here, and primarily on Cletus, I don't know why, this, see that bronze pin? That is the complete entire axle. That's how big the axle is. Now you notice that it is ground on the same shape as the lifter body. What happens is that there's a pin that locates that there. Now we're doing an extra super heavy duty revision of this. Morel is actually working on it for me and has the first test sample done, but I haven't had the problems except in primarily here. Not sure why yet, but it's not a oiling issue. It's none of that kind of thing. But what is happening, according to Morel lifters and what I've seen, is that on a start of some sort, somewhere along the road, and they don't wear out, they don't get bad, they're not locked up, nothing like that. Something happens where this roller lifter sticks on initial startup, sticks and breaks that pin, then allows this axle shaft to actually turn slightly. And when that axle shaft turns slightly, it then gets out of round, and that concave surface turns and starts gouging up the bottom of the lifter bore, making all sorts of material. And that was, I think, always the material that we were seeing. Something was happening, some reason, probably initial startup. But this is the only SMX outside of maybe Ned Dunphy's that was doing the same thing, where it would something's going on. I don't know exactly what it is. But Bailey's never had it. Same lifters forever for 5 years. Never had the issue. I've never had the issue yet on one of my engines. In my wagon, Alan Whitaker, others, don't know what the deal is. I don't think it's a maintenance issue. I don't think it's anything going on with those guys. It's nothing like that. Something different. something different in the system, and I'm not exactly sure what.
All right, everybody, I'm here with Doug Flaherty with All Shaft Repairs, and we're going to be looking at Cletus's SMX crank, the one that was out of it. So he's got it right over here under the hood. We're going to go take a look. Now, you had called Steve and mentioned that it wasn't looking good.
That's an understatement. All right, we'll start with the number 1 rod. You see down the bottom there, it's kind of difficult to see from probably the camera, but that's a crack in the number 1.
Yep.
All right, and what do the number 2 have? There's a small crack in the number 2 main.
Yep, can see that.
There is a crack in the number 3 and 4 sets of rod.
Wow, that's a big crack.
That's a big crack. Yeah, the one on the next main is the worst.
Keeps getting worse down the line, it seems like.
Okay, that one on the 3rd center main there goes around and is cracked out.
Wow.
Yeah, there's another one in the 5 and 6 rod set. There's one on either side. And there's another one on the number 4 main. I believe, yep, 7 and 8 rod.
So I'm almost every single
journal was cracked to the point of I cannot believe it made another pass and didn't end up in pieces.
Alrighty, just drove in all the way from Michigan, and we're here at KSR. So, just to refresh your memory, this is the Scratch and Dent SMX. So, if you look right here, this really light shadow where it says, hell yeah, brother, this is the engine that I bought back from Cletus. You can go look at the videos here. So that's the engine. I'm not going to bother covering a whole bunch about that. Got lots of videos on that. So we'll go over the fab work. Check out these super cool billet. It's almost, it really is a shame to cut into them to put a wastegate.
Gotta do it though.
I know, you gotta do it.
Yep, billet collectors, billet elbow there down into the turbo.
Yep. These are Bullseye Turbo 104 millimeter turbos, and these are super light. Did you notice how light they are? How big they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are 16 pounds a piece lighter than the same size turbo in like a Precision or Garrett. Yeah, because they got some unobtainium exhaust housing. I have no idea what's going on. Some kind of weird deal. This is going to be, this engine is identical now to the engine in a Wagon. The turbos are identical. We're doing the exact same thing for the hot side wastegate, the cold side boost gate, and blow off valve. So everything is going to be identical to what it is in the Wagon. So therein I have a lot of tune-up information, I have a lot of stuff I understand how it all works, and I can swap them. Even though this will be Holley, this is Holley EFI, the Wagon is Fuel Tech EFI. It's not a big deal. Tune both of them, so it's not a big deal. We're just going to start getting to work. I have some time-lapse stuff here, and when I see something interesting or something cool, or Kevin sees something, you want to show something, we'll just stop you and show something. Not a very good car.
I see it.
You see it? I can see it. Yeah, it looks about right. I mean, if I took some more time, I could do a lot better job at it, obviously. Alrighty, so we're Tuesday afternoon, so we got a bunch more work to do, but so we can get this video up for tonight, because you're seeing this video tonight, show you where we're at. Kevin's finishing up wiring on the injectors under the manifold. That way I can get this manifold all back on and start working on cold side. Get all the injectors already been in it. Get all that mounted. I'm going underneath right now to put final bolts in to the 4-link and put all the proper hardware and everything, nut and bolt stuff, and start going through all that stuff. We have the front end is all on. This is all on permanent outside of our one little Heimlink bar for the alternator, but this is all on. We got a really cool stainless steel pipe for the inlet of this. So instead of a rubber hose or even an AN hose, it'll be a Wiggins clamp right here. So it's just like a shell clamp with double O-rings, stainless steel tube, whoop, bink, right over to another Wiggins clamp on the fuel cell. So that'll be nice. Alrighty, so we're on Wednesday morning. Actually just turned into noon, but we've been working all morning. And got all the Red Horse fittings in. So Kevin over at Red Horse liked their fittings, and just like what we did, and I told you yesterday, or told you on Tuesday, that we were going to do it not colored. This is how it's going to look. I just love doing it this way because it just looks nice. It looks right, looks correct, and it's easy to see what's all going on instead of just having 55 different lines on the front of it. It's like fuel lines, water lines, oil lines. Oil is black, water is blue, fuel is red. So really nice stuff. And these are all crimp fittings too. So we're going to start making up, or I'm going to start making up these hoses. Kyle's down below doing oil hoses. We have to get the coolers and oil tank mounted over here, PDQ, but I'm going to start working on the stuff that I can work on. Alrighty, so we're Thursday, early night. It's just after 5 right now. It's like nothing.
Basically morning.
It's right? It's like second shift. So anyways, but we're looking good. So we have tubes are all done. The E-gates are on. So these are the, okay, so you have to go back and you have to look at some of my videos where we're talking about the boost gates and how we're running it on the station wagon, right? So if you want to know, and have the regular vacuum operated blow off valves as the always safety. So if case this ever fails, which I did have a failure once, and what it did was when this thing didn't open up on time, it broke the throttle blade. Now this is opening up, and your worst case scenario is it doesn't make boost. That's your worst case scenario. With this entire deal like this, your worst case scenario is it doesn't make boost. That's it. Okay? If it hangs open or does something like that. If it hangs shut, this thing still opens. And these are supposed to need to be shut the entire time because we only use this to stage the car. That is it. Builds up turbo speed on the line, on the two-step. So when you let go of the button, the turbos are spooled up and moving faster than when these are not present. Okay? So these are on a Turbo Smart, guys. They're the only way you can go anyways. They're the best ones. And so we got that on there. I'm going to put in a little bit of electronics up here, IAC motors and the TPS like I talked about earlier. You can also see that we have the the radiator is getting finished mounted right now also. An amazing amount of room. There is where you can put, we're going to show you where the tank, oil tank goes. Kind of go and push the oil tank up right through here. So the oil tank is going to be mounted in the chassis. So this is going to be mounted right there. We've already checked it for tire clearance. Everything's good. Bing, bing, right to the oil pump. So oil pump, boop, right to there. Tank, down to the oil pump. Bada bing, bada boom, all done. You take the front end off. This is all there, super nice. And then we got to build this, the fuel cell over on this side. So 3 tabs to mount this. A couple tabs here left on the radiator. Then we're coming over here to the fuel cell, get that thing done. Finished. Finished-ish. Finished-ish. There you go. Finished-ish. You can take that down now, Kyle. So you can see there in this amazing amount of room up here. And I'm gonna actually am really interested now to measure and see why there's so much more room in this car than there is in my wagon. You'd think the wagon was a lot bigger, but it just isn't. And I think it's because this front end is actually taller than my wagon, probably by about 8 inches or so, 6-8 inches, like, which makes me lay the radiator down farther, which takes up a bunch of room. It's about the only thing I can think of.
And the fuel cell's not here.
And the fuel cell isn't right here. In my car, in the wagon, the fuel cell is right here. Over here, we're gonna put the fuel cell in this pocket that you just can't do unless you're unless you're doing this. So pretty cool there. All right, so last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, you saw us trying to figure out how we were gonna mount this darn oil tank in here, and we decided to leave it for Kevin. So Kevin came in and said, "Don't do it this way," and then it fits. So it is in there now. We're gonna make lines. Now this little bit, maybe in the ideal cosmetic world, you'd have the tank perfectly parallel, you know, and dedicated in. But in all honesty, it really doesn't matter. Especially on these really, really good Peterson tanks. At worst case scenario, this might actually, maybe it holds half a quart less or something. I don't know. Really, it probably doesn't do anything. But these are really nice tanks that have this built-in filter in it right here, which is what I really like, and a dipstick. And then this the front end just goes, clips right on, comes off. You can check your filter right here. You can add oil right there. You can check your dipstick. Yes, race car with a dipstick. Of course, it's not in the oil pan. It's actually in the tank. Now, this is the exact same tank that I got in the wagon. And I really like that, too.
So what's the difference between wet sump and dry sump? For those that don't know.
For those guys that don't know. Okay, so I made the comment about the dipsticks not in the engine. It's in the tank. Okay, so a wet sump oil system, we'll make this real quick. Wet sump oil system means that the oil pump is in the oil pan in the engine. So all of the oil is directly in the oil pan in the engine. All right, and the pump is in the oil. Therefore, it is wet all the time. Now here, this is the oil pump right here. This is a dry sump oil pump. Now the dry sump oil pump means that the sump tank is external, which is what this Peterson tank is right here. The oil pump is external. And when you have this, then you can have this big sectioned oil pump because we have two, on an SMX, I have 2 sections that pull from the oil pan. 1 section pulls from the, 2 sections pull from the, is it 1 section for turbos? Where's the turbos T into this on?
Turbos into the heads.
Oh yeah, that's right. 2 sections for the oil pan, 2 sections for the turbo and cylinder head. That's how that works. So that's all underneath there. We showed you that earlier. That's where Kevin simplified some plumbing and fittings and stuff. So the dry sump system is a superior system to any wet sump, period. All right, it is 5:45 a.m. the following day. Nobody has gone to sleep yet. And so I have decided that we're just gonna have to pull the plug, because it just is not gonna get done tomorrow. Plus everybody's gonna be on 24 hours here in about an hour. So, in my perfect world, people would do exactly this. Let's get the car sorted out. Let's get it going down the track. Let's make some passes. Hub dyno, get everything all sorted out. Then, before we go do a great big event like Sick Week, that's what this thing's going to, let's look at the engine. Let's tear it apart. Let's see. Maybe it's got to be a little massage here, a little massage there. Maybe things got to be adjusted. Let's see how things look. This thing is almost perfect. I'll show you what's not perfect in a minute. But let's go over the big major parts. Here's the block. Now, I want to show you something. This has not even been cleaned or wiped off. Major point. The major point of this whole deal here is this is 40 pounds of boost. All of the dyno testing. If you saw the dyno test video, all the problems, and we had a little wastegate, little blow off problems, all these issues and things that we're finding out that you have to find out before you go to the track, because you go to the track like that and you're never making a pass. Then we get to the track, make good initial passes with a torque converter that is so astronomically tight. It took 11 seconds on the two-step to come up. So you know that thing's just go look a lot like Cletus and his 300 foot long charge pipe on the old El Camino with the OG big block Chevrolet in it. So it's a lot like that. So really hard on parts doing all that. But I just want to tear it apart, take a look at things. I'm going to show you exactly what the stuff looks like. That is phenomenal for anybody that understands about what an LS based engine looks like. So the head bolt pattern, this whole deck surface, this is what makes me the happiest when I come into them and look at it and I go, dang, that thing looks great. That thing's just awesome. Pistons, rods, everything is looking great. You know, the piston looks great, not scuffed, tune-up's nice, everything's looking really good. Rings are holding in there nice. Rods, bearings just look fantastic. I mean, that's just excellent. That is just flat out excellent. Main bearings, look at those bad boys. Just flat out excellent. Cannot beat that. That just looks just fantastic, great. All right, so really super happy about that. The valve train, everything. Now we are going to be upgrading. This one was originally built with the Jessel rocker arms, Jessel steel rockers, which are really nice rocker. Obviously, they're a Jessel deal. We are converting this over though to my Manton rocker arm. Let me show you that rocker arm here real quick. Alrighty, so this is the Manton rocker arm. Look at that bad little mother trucker. Now, it doesn't have the shaft in it. That's all right. This, so you can see here, differences in the rocker arm, different style, different design. Now, to the one problem that I did find, that I did not know was going to pop up and be a problem with this combination at this higher horsepower levels. And because we're going to go even more horsepower of these things, let me show you what's going on there. So we're looking at pistons and the rod, and I'm going, yeah, man, oh my gosh, look at these pistons. Look, everything just looks great. And I just go check it, and I go, oh, crap. Now, this is not collapsed. The rings are good. No signs of detonation. The tune-up looks spot on the money. Everything is really good. But holy crap, every one of them has basically knocked the piston pin bores out of the piston and connecting rod. So what's that from? Since it's not a tune-up issue, if it's a tune-up issue, you would see hurt bearings, you'd see collapsed skirts, something else would happen in the piston, ring lands. I mean, you can see this thing they're just beautiful. I mean, everything, looking at it, it looked like $1 million until I actually felt it and measured it. And you can see this piston pin here. Not supposed to do that. There's usually about 1/1000 clearance in a piston pin, thousandths and a half. That has probably got like about 10. So this thing was not due to blow up at any point in time, but it was probably, you start hearing something. And you start hearing a little bit of knock, and you start going, wonder what that is. Because it wasn't making any material, wasn't doing anything. Everything is looking great. What this turns out to be is I wanted to do this piston in what's called the forged side relief. Now this forged side relief piston makes a nice, really strong piston. This whole area is nice in here. Compact bridges. I mean, it's got bridges here, you know, so there's a lot of support. It is a very nice piece. And I go, yeah, sweet, man. You get this nice little short, compact piston pin, really thick wall, but still lightweight, or lighter weight. And it's my fault, actually. And so I said, that would be great. Well, it turns out that what the problem is, this doesn't have enough bearing load capacity. There's not enough surface area in that piston to support all the power that this makes. So it gradually just keeps on pushing in a correct tune-up. Everything's correct. I mean, this is just beautiful. It's not enough piston pin engagement in the piston in order to stop it from beating itself to death. Point blank. So I call up my buddy Mike at Diamond Pistons. I say, hey, this is what's going on. And he goes, oh, did we do that? And that's forged side relief? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, we're going to need to go back to a full bore piston and get more piston pin in it in order to take the load, take the horsepower load. So they were going to get away from the slipper skirt. This, I call it slipper skirt, it's the wrong terminology. We get away from this forged side relief piston right here, go to a full bore piston and a full size 990 pin. So I'm going to up the pin diameter, and it's going to make everything heavier. Point blank. It's going to make everything heavier, but it doesn't matter how light it is or how nice it is or how good it is if it wears out and breaks. Sometimes you just have to put material and stuff to make it strong enough to last and be good. So I'm changing the pistons. We have a set of pistons being expedited. Diamond's taking care of that real quick. Going to this larger pin diameter for 990 versus 927. So bigger pin, heavier pin, more surface area. The pin will be, you know, full width here with pin buttons. So the pin is gonna, this is a 220 or 2250 pin. The new pins will probably be 2750. So half-inch longer pin, larger diameter, more surface area to keep these things alive. So something that I just learned. I really thought this was going to be a better way, but it cannot handle the load of really big horsepower stuff. So since this was a design problem on mine, it's not. Diamond did exactly what I told them to do. It's not their problem. It wouldn't matter if it was. But since it's my issue, then obviously Jason's getting the new updated piston and rod selection. Alrighty, just had to have Dad come in and do a little bit of tune work. It's all right. That'll get him. Anyways, he didn't
even want to be here to see it. He left.
Did he take off?
I think so.
Oh, that's all right. I think this is 10. This is probably. I think this is about 15 pulls on it so far. So we're going to. I could keep on dinking around to get to that extra 7.3 horsepower, because I thought I really want this thing to make 700 horsepower, because I think that's a good number for a really low compression. Okay, this is a boost built for boost only, not built for NA. There's no compression ratio in it. It's overfueled. you know, with the methanol. So I'm happy with that. I think 700 horsepower right there. Let's look here. We'll look at actual numbers too. And get that out of the way. Right there. And it goes through a little spot right here. Might be getting probably a little over rich right through here if we took a look at the data log. So I mean, we're just trying to get a really good comparison between what is the SMX NA and the SML NA, and that's about where I figure. Now this is 400 cubic inch. Any of the SMXs, the smallest one we do is 525. Most of them are in that 540 range. Cletus's was a 572, which I now call the scratch and dent engine, which obviously is now a 540. And because of that crankshaft was all broke all to pieces. So that's all about right. I mean, if it made 1,000 what?
1,008.
1,008. So we just call it 1,000 horsepower. So 1,000 horsepower, which is about right. Even the 540s, it just moves up the RPM just a little bit or down a little bit, depending on how big the cubic inch is. Since it's exact same combination, it's just a cubic inch would be different. Same camshaft, same head, same induction, everything. What that does is more cubic inch moves your peak horsepower number down. Less a cubic inch would move your peak horsepower number up. In general, there's lots of little specifics to that. Okay, so here I'm pretty happy with that. That would be, you know, 300 horsepower less out of you know, a significantly smaller engine, but a significantly smaller cylinder head. In fact, that would be a good one. Let's go look at we'll go look at the cylinder heads, and camshaft is totally different. I mean, it is, that's why the SMX is the SMX and the SML is, you know, LS based kind of stuff, right? I didn't build this engine. Brian here has built the engine and has come here with his customer, and we're just doing the dyno testing because we're going to do what I love to do, which is, and Brian wants to do the same thing, which is test the engine, make sure everything's okay in the engine. Really doesn't matter the horsepower, really doesn't matter all that stuff. Just want to make sure there's no problem with it before you go through the whole hassle of finalize it in the car, putting it in the car, and then bringing it to hub dyno. So we test all the injectors, everything's firing there, test all the coils are firing, everything is working correctly. Start cranking it, no engine RPM. We spent all day yesterday, approximately, lunchtime, about 6 hours. About 6 hours trying to get this to get engine RPM. Get Fuel Tech on phone, Cameron over at Fuel Tech. He spent about 4 hours on the phone, on internet, looking at stuff, trying to figure out why we could not get this thing to fire up. Has some form of a crankshaft signal problem. So here's the weird deal. And this is trying two different magnetic sensors, two brand new Hall effect sensors, crankshaft sensors, everything. If everything is bolted to the engine, it will not receive a crankshaft signal. We go through the oscilloscope, and Cameron goes, yeah, it is very dirty. And we've done grounds, from ground rods to earth grounds to separate battery systems, different battery system on the engine than on the dyno. Done all of this stuff. So we're going through this whole deal a lot. So it will not pick up a crank signal, a validated crank signal. It's a dirty signal. And so Cameron says there's got to be something going on with the engine. I'm thinking there's got to be something going on with the engine. This is really weird. So we determined that, we are just trying stuff. This wheel that I have jerry rigged up to this drill is the original wheel. This is a 12-1 wheel, flying magnet. Okay? It's bolted to the engine. It will not pick up a clean signal. It can't figure out what's going on. Okay? And I go, all right, screw it. Get rid of that wheel. Let's put one of my wheels on there. So I put my wheel on there. Still does the exact same thing. Will not figure out the signal. All right? So then we start looking at it, like, you know what? I started thinking about it, and I put a magnet on here. This is a steel shell balancer. So put a magnet on it. Yep, magnet. Well, maybe the magnet is too close to the steel. So we think, okay, maybe that's it. So we flip it around, put a 3/4 inch spacer on it to get the magnets away from the steel shell. Still does it. So no matter what, we could figure out is if the crank trigger wheel is bolted to the engine, it will not pick up signal. So then I put the old wheel, just to experiment, said I'm going to spin the wheel off of the engine with the sensor still hooked up to the engine and see if it picks up signal. So Alan, hold that there. Just hold it there. So here I am sitting here going just exactly like this, even wobbling and just roughly holding it like that. Perfect crank signal. Comes up on the oscilloscope, perfect, everything. As soon as this wheel, and then I put the wheel right here. And Alan, if you want to point it at. So I got it as close as possible to where it's actually even just touching it like that. It still picks up signal perfect. What the fudge is going on? Something I think you guys might find interesting is this block right here is for Deal Brothers. They're drag and drive guys that race with us and got a really good program going on. And they're not able to do a SML just yet, but maybe someday. And so what we're doing is we're already working on their current engine platform, and what they wanted to do is dry deck it. All right. Now, we've already put receiver grooves, hoops in it. We're doing all that, the normal stuff, right? But the dry decking is interesting. But what we actually do is we've drawn out shapes here, all right? And these shapes go just like this. So we make these aluminum plugs on the CNC machine, obviously. Can't hand cut this stuff. Then on the old big Centroid here, there's going to be a water port, -12 water port on the end of the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to knock this soft plug out. On this machine, we can then cut and tap a -20 fitting to go here, and it'll be a -20. Take this plug out, tap this with not some great big stupid tap. It's actually a single point tap. We'll show you that too. And put a fitting there that'll go from -20 to -12, and they'll just make one line going up there and it'll flow. So water goes in here, which is really far away, almost impossible, very, 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 very rare to ever blow a head gasket here. But every one of these holes, except for the stud holes, will be plugged with these little inserts. Water goes through the head, then we'll cross over from that fitting over to the fitting we're going to machine and put in a block right here. Go through the block, and then out the hole here in the front of the block. All right, so what we do here is we just put a little bit of silicone on. Now, they are pressed in and then held in with a gasket, so it probably really doesn't need the silicone, but it's like, screw it, we'll just put the silicone in it anyways. And I'll show you exactly what's going on with these two, and then I'll let Brock put in the rest of them.
How nice of you.
Yeah, I don't want to take his work away from him. I know he enjoys it so much. Hey, is this one exactly the same as this one? Yep, they're all just inverted. Yep. Okay, just mirrored from each other. That's nice. So and you can always hear when it just starts hitting the very bottom of it, so that's cool. Resurface this whole, or both sides of this. Just got the haircut trim so we can make these flat. Isn't that sweet? That is sweet. That is what you call sealed up, dry deck. So obviously this is just cutting the inside of the hole to give us the proper diameter. And it looks like it's cutting about 50 per side. That's just give it the correct minor diameter for the tap hole. All right, so that is a little, you can see it there. So the taper on that obviously has to be smaller than what the gap is in this, which is why it doesn't just make straight lines all the time. Ah, I now understand. It's a smaller tool. Small, that little angle, you know, it's kind of shaped like that right there. So this has to be smaller than what the inside of the thread is. So the thread is like this big. So it can't, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even going to put that next to this anymore. All I know is it works. All right. You can see it. Finished off. Put the chamfer on it. ORV plug. I don't think we'll use, this is just a big old steel plug. Oh, actually that's 20 to 16. This needs to still go to 20 to 12. So it'll be a different fitting that goes in there, something smaller with a smaller nut, I'm pretty sure. But there you go. Screw in. Plug. Pretty darn cool. Let's get after the pump here real quick. And we'll put this together and we're gonna spin this. And I think I can just do it in, at least to get that preset with everything put together. We'll see how they did this. All right, so they have kind of pre-run this. And like right now, it is pretty darn tight, which is what I would expect it to be. This is pretty darn tight because as it starts to move and run, it's going to get looser. All right, so I got to put all the O-rings and everything back in it. Now, I don't have everything all pieced together yet. Now, obviously, this is my running pump that came off the car. So you take this out. All right. You can already see just from turning it over. Can you see the shiny? Mm-hmm. Where it touches? Interesting that it does. This is what we were talking about. Is it touches this back ridge here? I don't know if you can see that, but you see this area right here is shiny. Shiny because it's already touching, and this whole ledge right here is shiny because that is like the drive side, and then the back side is not. So that's shiny there. So all these areas right here, this whole little scoop area here, any area that is not making any drive contact or clearance contact, it's going to be filling. So I think that is pretty cool. I'll just fill up this bucket and we'll keep the whole pump in there. It's hard to do. It's hard to hold everything, so it's going to be messy. So I'm going to use our Driven 70 weight oil. This is our common oil. And very, very cool. Check this out right here. Have my own oil coming out here in the next month. A specific built drag and drive oil. There's a lot of things I talked to my buddy, the oil nerd, Bill, the oil nerd. Believe it or not, it was like... It was probably like 4 months before I knew his last name. I just always called him the oil nerd. And Bill for short. Bill Oil Nerd. That's what it is in my phone, is oil nerd. So we have come up with our own little concoction, which is going to include a multi-weight 70. So isn't that going to be cool? A multi-weight 70. So like 2050, 30-ish, 70. They're working on the formula right now. And some other really cool stuff. All coming up. Going to be very, very, very cool. And it is going to be a very good specific build for the drag and drive. The drive is the problem. Big all race oils. Some race oils have some problems. All right, so we got this pump here. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this the best. Well, we'll let it suck through some of this here first. Like on the pressure section. The pressure section is the one that I'm most concerned about because I don't have to draw a vacuum. But this should, in particular, draw more vacuum with your pump. If you make these scavenge sections better, more efficient, it should and would make more. Oop, almost had my finger in that. Oh, there we go. Would make more vacuum. All right, now.
It's kind of cool looking.
It is. There, we'll get all the oil in there. Oh, crap. I probably should have taken my ring off here, but all right. I'm turning this in the correct orientation. Now, if I block off this one here. Ooh, suck your finger in hard on the bottom. Interesting. All right. So that is lubed up.
Inside and out.
Huh? Inside and out. Obviously, I'm going to save this oil because it's like expensive. And so I'll pour that all back in and I'll let this thing drain right here. Just like Nate brought it up, because just like our buddies over at Snap-on, who I'm a die-hard Snap-on guy, right? It's valuable, not expensive. So this oil, which is absolutely true. This oil, like my tools, are valuable, not just expensive. So I'm gonna save this oil because it is valuable. All right, so you've watched 2+ hours of the year in review. Let me know what you think. Let me know the kind of things that you guys want to see this upcoming year as we're getting this thing ready to run. And this is going to be one of the first things, this will actually be the first thing that you'll see probably of the new year, actually, is this car running. And other stuff, including, Lord willing, please, Kevin, an update on the Camaro. So, it's going to be super cool. So we're getting this thing all ready. Remember, we're going to show you this on Thursday, 7 o'clock. And I got some other stuff where we're going to be changing tires. So I'm going to be showing you how to change beadlock tires on the big 36-inch by 17 wide new wheels and tires on this car. So I'm showing you that tire change. And we're going to look at the king of all rear ends there, that 12-inch billet modular rear end from Mark Williams. We're going to actually do the inspection on it, oil change inspection on the gears, and make sure all that stuff's good. And we're sending the drive shaft out to our buddies over at Gulf Coast Drive Shaft. They're going to retest it, recertify it, make sure the thing is like $1 million. Hopefully maybe they'll even make a spare for me just in case, because we're going to Sick Week to do really well. So, Lord willing. Anyways, like, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. This year, I think the YouTube has really dinged us on a lot of stuff. And a lot of people are really way down. And I constantly hear people say that they don't get notifications. I constantly hear people say they're unsubscribed. So just check that out. And I'm Steve Morris. Have a great new year.